Well, many thanks to all of you Birmingham supporters out there joining us for this special Sunday Speedway show. And can you believe it? It has been 5 years today since the 2015 National League Fours at Coventry's Brandon Stadium. And what an afternoon it was as well. Obviously, the 2015 season was a memorable one for so many reasons for everyone connected with the Brummies. And today we are delighted to be able to bring you the National League Fours from 2015. We do hope you have been enjoying Wednesday night rewinds to give you your Wednesday night Speedway fix of old Perry Bar action, and on Monday night on the British Speedway Monday Night Speedway broadcast. What a thrilling Elite League contest that was between the Brummies and the Peterborough Panthers. Like I say, today it is the 2015 National League Fours though. We're going to be bringing you the Brummies semi-final and then the final. So let's get this Sunday show on the road then with Group A of the 2015 National League Fours semi-finals.
So race one of Group A, it featured of course Coventry, Eastbourne, Kings Lynn and Birmingham. Very strong group indeed. Certainly I think at least three of these four would fancy themselves to go through to the final. Kings Lynn somewhat depleted with a couple of their riders absent. It's Rob Shuttleworth going in red for the Coventry Storm, Richard Andrews going in blue off gate 2 for the Eastbourne Eagles, Josh Bailey in white off gate 3 for Kings Lynn, and Tom Perry in yellow and black off the outside for the Birmingham Brummies. Birmingham and Eastbourne, of course, both former Elite League clubs who had several years racing here at Brandon in the top flight, but have certainly made a success of their move into the National League this season. Kings Lynn, long-time supporters of National League racing, and of course the Coventry Storm in their third season at this level. So here we go with the opening race then. Heat 1 with Tony Steele in charge. Green light comes on and away they go, and it's a good start there from Shuttleworth from the inside, gets the event in front. Tom Perry trying to go around the outside, down has gone Bailey, and that has actually brought down Andrews I should say, and that's brought Bailey down with him. So the red lights have come on, and it looked like the Eastbourne man that went down by himself. So we will see, and in fact indeed the blue light goes on from Tony Steele. Andrews coming down on the first bend, that actually brought Bailey down with him. No great drama, no great damage done, but the damage is to Eastbourne's early chances here, with one of their riders crashing out in their opening race. But everyone's okay as they make their way back to the pits. It was a good start by Shuttleworth for Coventry. Tom Perry was trying to go round him on turn 2, but the drama was really behind that, with Andrews going down. So we try again with hit number 1, with the rider in blue disqualified for that first bend for Richard Andrews. Of course, it's an unforgiving format here. If you go out of the meeting after heat 8, you've only had 2 rides, and that for Andrews is one of them. So he'll be hoping that his teammates can really get stuck in. But it's a tough group, as we say, with Coventry and Birmingham involved. Not to write off Kings Lynn by any means, but they are weakened with the absence of both Scott Campos and Shane Hazelden. So restart then of Heat 1. Shuttleworth on the inside in red for Coventry, Bailey in white off gate 3 for Kings Lynn, and Perry goes in yellow and black off the outside. Green light comes on for Heat 1, restart, away they go, and this time it's Shuttleworth once again. This time Perry close up around the first 2 turns, and Perry sweeps around the outside and takes the advantage for the Brummies. It's Perry then over Shuttleworth, with Bailey in third place, and Birmingham, many people's tips to do very well here this afternoon with such a strong top 2, and then with Weitschnecht in great form and Sam Chapman just back from injury. Well, looks like being a perfect start here for Birmingham in the opening race. Bit of dust kicking up here in the early stages. Of course it rained all morning, all overnight on Friday and into Saturday afternoon. Then it's dried out. We've had quite a bright, breezy day, and we could require some track watering as we go through. But it's Tom Perry well out in front for Birmingham, Shuttleworth in second place. The third is comfortably enough with Josh Bailey, and the Brummies off to a fly up in Heat 1 as Tom Perry gets onto his last lap. Shuttleworth in second place, Bailey in third, and Shuttleworth in fact has gone down on turn 1, and that's given a point to Josh Bailey. So around they come to complete the race, and Tom Perry well clear, he wins it. Perry gets it over Josh Bailey and Shuttleworth in third place after coming to grief on turn 1, and that drops a point as far as Coventry were concerned. Tom Perry comfortable out in front for the Brummies, and Josh Bailey inheriting the second place, and that'll be frustrating for Coventry, dropping a point and therefore only gaining 1 on the Eastbourne Eagles. But Tom Perry wins the opening race for Birmingham. Heat 2 then, Dan Greenwood riding in red for Coventry, very much a form man in the National League this season, as is the rider in blue, Bradley Wilson-Dean, making his first appearance at Brandon, has really been carving things up for Eastbourne. He goes in blue. Tom Stokes in white for Kings Lynn, back after a nasty crash which he had in the Kings Lynn Coventry fixture earlier this month, and also back after injury, and hasn't ridden in fact since the back end of March, is Sam Chapman, who rides for Birmingham in yellow, and this is, I say, his first meeting in some 2.5 months after a hand injury picked up in a crash when racing in the Premier League for Plymouth, and he's had to put back his comeback date a couple of times, so this is his first meeting, and quite a big one to come back into. Lots of Brummies fans here, of course, to support their team. It's just over a year since their last Elite League meeting in Perry Barr, but they're very much back in the National League this year, and Sam Chapman going back into their middle order. Stokes on the inside, Chapman gate 2, Greenwood gate 3, and Wilson-Dean goes off the outside. Green light for heat 2, and away they go. Greenwood lifts off gate number 3, doesn't make the bend in front, just round the outside goes Wilson-Dean. Chapman gets sent out wide and bumped into the fence on turn 2 after a crash with Tom Stokes, and the Reds come on once again, and that looked like Stokes and Chapman having contact, and I mentioned it's Sam Chapman's first meeting back, and in fact Wilson-Dean has binned it on turn 4 after the red lights have come on, so plenty of drama in heat number 2, and Bradley Wilson-Dean may have hurt himself up there because he hasn't got straight up. Sam Chapman looks okay, but to the rest of the Eastbourne riders are sprinting out to see Bradley Wilson-Dean. It's an all-4 restart, which I think is fair enough because there was definite bumping and barging between Tom Stokes and Sam Chapman, but the bigger concern is for Bradley Wilson-Dean up on turn 4, who has gone down well after the red stop lights came on and hasn't really moved very much up there. So big concern for Eastbourne. All of their riders are making their way out onto the track, and Wilson-Dean receiving attention from the medical staff, but this could be a major setback for the Eagles. Well, it's good to see Bradley Wilson-Dean back on his bike after that fourth bend incident. After the race had been stopped, don't forget, and he walked back in and was in a great deal of pain as he made his way back into the pits, but has made his way back onto the track, so hopefully he'll be okay. Of course, it was the riders on the inside who crashed that caused the race to be stopped, and Dan Greenwood, who's been making such good starts for Coventry this season, actually didn't make it that time. Probably a good thing for him that was the case because of the action inside him. And Wilson-Dean just being restarted, and they'll need that bike to get going. Eastbourne have already seen Andrews have trouble falling in his first ride, and now Eastbourne desperately need that bike to fire for Wilson-Dean, and it appears to have done so. Not the best of starts for the Eagles at all here, in a format where you really can't afford too many setbacks, especially with, as we've said, 2 strong teams also in the group. Stokes on the inside, Chapman gate 2, Greenwood gate 3, Wilson-Dean goes off the outside. Heat number 2 of the first semi-final, and it's a good start this time by Chapman. Gets the bend in front of Dan Greenwood. Stokes in trouble on turn 2. Greenwood turns back sweetly and hits the front now. Wilson-Dean trying to go through. He goes round Stokes. Now he'll try and go round the outside of turns 3 and 4 as Chapman swings out wide. It's Greenwood out in front, and a real race on for second as Wilson-Dean comes through inside Chapman. Stokes in third, and Stokes and Chapman almost going to each other again. And the riders at the back finding it a bit tricky in this heat number 2, but Dan Greenwood works his way to the front. It's Greenwood over Wilson-Dean, bravely battling on in second. Chapman, I think, is finding it going tough and loses his third place there to Tom Stokes, but it's not easy when you haven't raced for such a long time, Sam Chapman, and he's having to really work hard. He's been beaten there by Tom Stokes, but Dan Greenwood out in front for Coventry Storm. Wilson-Dean in second place, Stokes in third, and Chapman at the back. All sorts of drama again then in the early part of heat number 2, but now Greenwood stamping with authority. Wilson Dean second, Stokes falls at the start of the last lap. That's going to put Chapman back through into third place. So Greenwood comes round to win another eventful heat number 2. It's Greenwood over Wilson Dean, and coming round for third place is Sam Chapman, and Tom Stokes came down on the first turn on the last lap, and that allowed Chapman to come back through into third place. So we are seeing plenty of action here, and this time it's Kings Lynn who failed to score a point because of an incident during the race, but it's 3 points for the Coventry Storm and a couple on the board for Eastbourne, with Wilson Dean showing plenty of spirit there after the crash he'd had earlier, and Birmingham grab a point, and that means that Coventry and Birmingham both have 4 points. So on to heat 3 with Coventry and Birmingham both on 4 points, and Eastbourne and Kings Lynn both on 2. And it will be Mark Owen going in blue off the inside for the Eastbourne Eagles. Luke Crang in red off gate 2 for the Storm. Yellow and black off gate 3, Zach Weichnecht for the Brummies, and Ryan Kinsley in white off the outside for Kings Lynn Young Stars. This will be Ryan Kinsley's first ride on this circuit. Zach Weichnecht rode here in a challenge match earlier in the season and scored well. And of course we've seen Mark Owen here in the National League for the last couple of years with Kings Lynn, his team last year, and now moving to Eastbourne for 2015. Luke Crang in red off gate 2 for Coventry, who have not had many home meetings at all here this season as a National League team. Just one challenge match and one knockout cup match when they weren't at full strength. So their position in the National League is actually very good considering that. They've been doing all the away matches. So here we go with heat number 3 then. Green light on from Tony Steer, and away they go. It's a sharp start by Mark Owen from the inside. Weichnecht comes across and tries to go around the outside and gets the advantage for Birmingham, and Luke Crang battling with Ryan Kinsley moves through into third place. So it's Weichnecht with the lead for Birmingham. Second, Mark Owen for Eastbourne. Luke Crang in third, and Kinsley out the back. But Birmingham could be taking control here of the group if Weichnecht can bring home victory in this heat number 3, especially as Luke Crang in third place for Coventry Storm is not making too much ground here on Mark Owen, and that will give the Brummies a handy lead at this stage of the group. So Weichnecht with the advantage. Of course, they've still got Adam Ellis to come in heat 4, so they are looking very powerful indeed. Weichnecht out in front. Second place is Owen to keep Eastbourne in touch, with Luke Crang in third as they come round to start their last lap. Ryan Kinsley some way adrift, almost came down, in fact on turn 4, but perfectly okay, and the race continues with Mark Owen beginning to gain some ground back in here on Zach Weichnecht. They come into the third and fourth bend for the final time, but Weichnecht will hold on. He's been piling up points for the Brummies in the National League this season, and he wins heat number 3 from Mark Owen, with Luke Crang in third place and Ryan Kinsley out the back. So Weichnecht gets Birmingham's second race victory of the afternoon, and as I say, they've still got Alan Ellis to come in heat number 4, so they are looking powerful. Weichnecht wins 3 from Owen, with Crang in third place. The Brummies on to 7 points. Coventry now have 5 and Eastbourne on 4. Heat 4, and it's Darrell Richards going in red off the outside for Coventry Storm. David Mason next to him in gate 3 for Eastbourne in the blue helmet colour. James Cockle in white off gate 2 for the Young Stars, and Adam Ellis in yellow and black off the inside gate for the Brummies, who have already got 7 points from 3 races. They're 2 points in front of Coventry, and they've got their top man still to come in heat 4, which is here now, with Adam Ellis off the inside gate. He's been dropping very few points indeed in the National League, as you'd expect for a rider of that quality. So here we go with heat number 4, green light, and away they go, and a good start by Ellis off the inside. Richards goes for a run around the boards. Cockle is going wide, and Richards neatly switches inside to move through into second place. So it's Ellis in front of Richards, Mason in third. Mason going rather square on turn 4, but Cockle in fact goes even squarer and falls. So the Kings Lynn rider rebounds, and Ellis out there in front for the Brummies. Dust now billowing because it's a breezy day, and it's there's some humidity as well. And Adam Ellis out there in front and looking good. Darrell Richards going wide off the fourth bend. That's the place that's catching him out, as Richards still maintains it's the second place. Ahead of in third place David Mason, and the James Cockle did remount, but is in danger of being lapped very shortly by the flying Adam Ellis, who continues to race lead for the Brummies. It's Richards in second, which is good enough for Coventry. It keeps them ahead of Eastbourne, with Mason running a third, so it will mean that Birmingham and Coventry have control of this group at the halfway stage. And Adam Ellis, it's going to do well to stop on. How has he controlled that? That's tremendous riding there by Adam Ellis after he lifted and picked up and somehow controlled it. It requires some real skill there up on the fourth bend to maintain control of the bike, and Ellis does win Heat 4 for Birmingham, with Richings in second place for Coventry, and in third place was David Mason, with James Cockle falling and remounting. So Birmingham on to 10 points from 4 races, Coventry on to 7, Eastbourne left with 5, and they're the team that need to hit back in the second half of proceedings. Kings Lynn on 2 are some way out of contention, but looking good for the Brummies as Adam Ellis wins T4. So Heat 5 coming into line. Rob Shuttleworth for Coventry, David Mason for Eastbourne, Ryan Kinsley for Kings Lynn, and Sam Chapman for Birmingham, who lead by 3 points from Coventry, who have a further 2-point advantage over Eastbourne. There's been a lengthy delay between Heats 4 and 5 because a member of the public unfortunately was taken ill on the second turn terracing. That forced the medical staff to assist, and the county ambulance to be dispatched as well. Well, since during that delay, the weather has changed as well, because we've got light rain falling at the moment. So there was some track watering done, and a bit of water on the track certainly won't do it any harm whatsoever. But hopefully conditions won't deteriorate too badly. Here we go with Heat 5. Mason on the inside, Kinsley gate 2, Shuttleworth gate 3, and Chapman off the outside. Ground a bit of edging there by Sam Chapman. The red lights come on straight away from referee Tony Steele, and it did look like the rider in yellow and black, Sam Chapman, was rather over anxious to get going, and it will be, you would assume, a restart with all 4 riders. So back into line for the restart of Heat 5. Mason in blue off the inside, Kinsley in white off gate 2, Shuttleworth in red off gate 3, and Chapman in yellow and black off the outside. Birmingham in a strong position, 3 points in front of Coventry, 10 over 7 as we get set for Heat 5. Restart, green light, and away this time, that away. It's a good start by Mason from the inside. Chapman goes around the outside, plate mechanical change. Shuttleworth shoots through though, sends Chapman out wide, and Shuttleworth hits the front for Coventry ahead of Mason in second place and Chapman in third. So real turnaround there on turns 1 and 2. Chapman said he made some mechanical changes, but in fact it's sent into the back once again as Kinsley goes through into third. So Shuttleworth in front here for Coventry, and that is going to give him a massive boost if he can bring home race victory here over David Mason, who goes wide on turn 4 and goes down. Mason into the fence, and Chapman just avoids him, and I think the referee should be able to award that. Although Shuttleworth is forward as well. Now, when did the red lights come on? When did the red lights come on there? Because the race was stopped. Now, at what stage did the red lights come on when Mason fell on the fourth bend? Will the referee award the race? Will he ask for a restart? He's disqualified the rider in blue, quite clearly David Mason for the Eastbourne Eagles, who just seemed to straighten up a bit there upon the fourth bend and came down. But what the verdict will be beyond that, and in fact red has been disqualified, which seems... But red was quite clearly under power. I don't get that at all. Blue has been disqualified David Mason, and Shuttleworth was in front but went down on turn 1, lap 3. I think just before the red lights came on, but he got up and remounted, so that is just... I don't get that at all. You could have made a case for the referee awarding it with a win for Ryan Kinsley, who'd come through the carnage on that one, but it would appear we're going to get a rerun with the remaining 2 riders, and Shuttleworth, though he's ridden back to the pits under power, finds himself disqualified. So it's 2 riders only for the restart of Heat 5. I still can't get my head around that decision because quite clearly Mason was the cause of the stoppage, and whether or not the race was stopped before or after Shuttleworth went down is in a way irrelevant, because the fact that he went down and he was straight back under power. So the referee had to decide whether to award the race with Shuttleworth the winner or third, depending on when he stopped the race, or rerun it with 3. And for some reason Shuttleworth, despite remounting, finds himself disqualified. It's an extraordinary decision by the referee, and we now have 2 riders remaining, Ryan Kinsley in white and Sam Chapman in yellow and black, and away they go. And Ryan Kinsley makes the start over Sam Chapman, who's trying to get around him on the second turn. Kinsley, who piled up big points against Coventry Storm in the league a couple of weeks ago, and is clearly making some decent progress. He's got the advantage. I don't think that Sam Chapman is remotely comfortable in second place with the hand injury that he's having to manage. And of course, he hasn't ridden for some 10 weeks. That's a problem as well. And if the Brumbies are to win here today, then I think they'll look for the big points from the likes of Ellis and Perry and Weichnecht to do it. And if Sam Chapman can pick up the odd points here and there along the way, they'll be happy enough with that. But Ryan Kinsley is a lad to watch out for in the second half of the season. It's clearly making progress with Kingsley and Young Stars. It may well not be enough to take them through this afternoon, but he's certainly one to watch out for in the weeks to come. They have a great record of bringing through talented youngsters, and it looks like they've found another one here. Ryan Kinsley out in front of Sam Chapman. Chapman, as I say, looking uncomfortable, but it will still be 2 points for Birmingham here after the carnage in front of him earlier in the race. So it's a win for Ryan Kinsley for the Kingsley Young Stars, and the second place goes to Sam Chapman, and that puts Birmingham up to 12 points and very much in control of the group. It would have to be a massive swing against them now to not make the final. Birmingham on 12 to not make the final would be a massive swing against them. Kingsley now on 5, level with Eastbourne, and Coventry on 7. So no massive damage done there for Coventry. They're still only 2 points in front of the Eagles. So Heat 6, and it's Darrell Richards in red, Richard Andrews in blue, Tom Stokes in white, and Zach Weichnecht goes in yellow and black. Richard Andrews fell on the first bend of Heat 1. That was some time ago, with all that's been going on in this meeting. And Eastbourne find themselves 2 points behind Coventry, as to King's Lynn. Birmingham with 12 points so far. So Zach Weichnecht can just about take Birmingham through here in Heat 6, even before Adam Ellis and Tom Perry even get on track for Heat 7 and 8. It's Weichnecht on the inside, Richards gate 2, Stokes gate 3, Andrews off the outside, green light goes on and away they go, and it's a good start by Richards off gate 2, gets the first bend in front of Zach Weichnecht. It's Stokes in third for King's Lynn, now trying to go round Weichnecht. They're level into the third bend, and Stokes goes through into second place. So Weichnecht in third, and that's leaving Eastbourne at the back, and that's exactly not the result Eastbourne wants if they've got Coventry in front, who are the team that they're chasing really. But in fact it's King's Lynn getting in the way in second place, and keeping themselves just about in touch in the meeting, as Darrell Richards has the advantage over Tom Stokes, with Weichnecht in third and Andrews at the back. And Eastbourne are going to need a couple of big race wins, I would think, if they're going to get themselves back into contention, as Weichnecht tries to make a passing move on Tom Stokes off the second turn, but can't do so. And Richards controlling Heat 6 for Coventry to give them some breathing space in the battle for qualification. It's looking like Coventry and Birmingham from this group at this stage, and Weichnecht trying to move inside Tom Stokes once again as they go at the back straight for the final time, as Darrell Richards comes round to win it. It's Stokes in second, Weichnecht in third over Andrews, and that's a big 3 points for Coventry, particularly with Eastbourne at the back. King's Lynn take 2, and it's looking very difficult now for Eastbourne to make it through this afternoon with no scoring there. They find themselves 5 points behind Coventry, who are in second place. So even with some heroics from Wilson, Dean and Owen, it's looking very, very difficult indeed for Eastbourne. Richards wins Heat 6 then for Coventry on to 10 points, Birmingham on to 13, King's Lynn move on to 7. Heat 7, Luke Crang in red off the outside for Coventry. Gate 3 is Adam Ellis in yellow and black for Birmingham. It's Bradley Wilson-Dean in blue off gate 2 for Eastbourne, and Josh Bailey in white off the inside for King's Lynn. This group should be Coventry and Birmingham going through. at this stage, unless something very peculiar happens. It's not really happened for Eastbourne so far today. They've only got 5 points. The only way they can go through is if basically Coventry don't score in their last 2 rides. Kings Lynn mathematically have a chance, but the lineup here doesn't favour them. Bailey on the inside, Wilson Dean gate 2, Ellis gate 3, Krang off the outside, green light and away for heat 7. Krang lifts off the outside and Adam Ellis gets the bend in front. Krang gets sent wide on turn 2 and picks up plenty of drive. Wilson Dean goes through into second place. So Ellis in front of Wilson Dean with Krang in third and controlling that off Ben Ford with Josh Bailey trying to find a way through. But this will be enough to take Birmingham through. Obviously they'll be on to 16 points, and Luke Krang having a battle here with Josh Bailey for third place, and it won't be enough for Kings Lynn either, because they'll be on to 8 and Coventry will be on 11, so it would need miracles to send Kings Lynn through, and indeed Eastbourne and Wilson Dean, who crashed earlier on, in second place here. They'll only be on 7 and that certainly won't be enough, but Adam Ellis showing the kind of style that we expected from him this afternoon, and with him, Tom Perry and Weichnecht and Birmingham going to be a strong quartet for the final. They are definitely going through to the final stages. Now Krang beginning to make some ground on Wilson Dean, who of course had that big crash earlier in the meeting, but Adam Ellis wins heat number 7 ahead of Bradley Wilson Dean, with Luke Krang in third place and Josh Bailey on the back. That moves Birmingham on to 16 points, Coventry on to 11, and Kings Lynn, well, they've got 8, so they are 3 points behind. Both teams have had a race win, so if Kings Lynn do win Heat 8 with James Cockle and Dan Greenwood doesn't finish, then that would be enough to put Kings Lynn through. Long shot, as I say, but it is possible. Birmingham certainly through to the final. Heat 8 then, and it's Dan Greenwood in red, Mark Owen in blue, James Cockle in white and Tom Perry in yellow and black. Confirmation that Birmingham and Coventry are through to the final, and given Kingston an extra point somewhere during Heat 7, which would have given them a mathematical chance, but they now find themselves in fact 4 points behind Coventry. So this will be the end of the road as far as Mark Owen for Eastbourne and James Cockle for Kings Lynn are concerned. Those two clubs both on 7 points so far. Birmingham on 16, really laying down a marker with some impressive riding from their quartet. Sam Chapman perhaps is the one concern they have because of his relative lack of fitness, but they've been the most consistent gators in this group. So Greenwood on the inside, Perry gate 2, Owen gate 3 and Cockle off the outside for heat number 8. Green light comes on then and away they go. Greenwood lifts off the inside gate. Good start by Cockle off the outside. Greenwood gets there just in front and Cockle goes down and is clettered into by Tom Perry, and that's going to be a painful one on turn 2. James Cockle out of shape and Tom Perry straight across to him to make sure he's okay and just get the bike free of him, and I'm hoping that's no more than what they call an impact injury. Definitely the rider in white, James Cockle, out of shape, lifting and going down. No way for Tom Perry to avoid him there. And there was contact. Tom Perry had got the bike down, and I'm hoping that therefore the contact with James Cockle was not too heavy, and that the Kings Lynn Young Stars man can just collect himself there and hopefully get to his feet fairly soon. That could have been a lot worse, and Tom Perry taking some quick action to, I think, prevent it being any worse on there. So we have a delay before the restart of Heat 8. The white light is on for James Cockle, who has not had the best of days really, because of course he fell in his first ride as well, and receiving medical attention down there on the second turn. Tom Perry looks like he's okay. Hopefully there's not too much bike damage either, but it's James Cockle receiving attention from the medical staff. So back into line for the restart of Heat 8. Dan Greenwood in red, Tom Perry in yellow and black, and Mark Owen in blue. James Cockle did walk into the medical vehicle. Hopefully there's no major damage done. And Kings Lynn Young Stars number 1. Hopefully he won't be out of action at all. So if he's out of action, then not too long, hopefully. As I say, he did walk into the medical vehicle. Here we go with Heat 8 then. As I say, Birmingham and Coventry, they are both through to the final. Just a case of racing for points here in Heat 8, and this will be the last ride for Eastbourne with Mark Owen riding in blue off gate 3. Green lights on, then away they go, and good start by Greenwood off the inside. Owen in second place, Perry in third, and Coventry with Greenwood out in front. It's been the situation he's been in for much of this season, winning loads of races for Coventry on away tracks generally, because Coventry have not raced much at home at all. Tom Perry looking for a move here on Mark Owen. He's trying to make his move around the outside here for second place. They are already through, but trying that to Tom Perry as he goes blasting around the outside of Mark Owen around turns 3 and 4. Owen trying to move him back through on the inside, but Perry's gone through into a second spot. He's riding the wide outside line here. Tom Perry getting up plenty of drive as well, and Dan Greenwood wound in front for Coventry Storm. Perry in second place, track riding quite nicely actually in this Heat 8. I think some rain we have been meeting have actually helped the track a bit too dry early on. What they had to do was scrape off the really wet stuff, and it's riding better here. It's Greenwood out in front of Perry. Third place Mark Owen, and Dan Greenwood come through to win Heat 8, and Coventry Storm are in the final. Birmingham second there with Tom Perry, they are in the final, and Mark Owen in third place for Eastbourne, who can go home. So Birmingham finish on 18 points, they are the group winners. Coventry on 14 points, they are in second place. Eastbourne with that point for Mark Owen have 8, they finish third, and Kings Lynn, they finish with 7.
So yes, the Brummies progressing through to the final of the 2015 National League Fours as winners of semi-final and Group A. They were joined by host Coventry, and they also joined the 2 qualifiers from Group B, which were the Rye House Raiders and the Kent Kings. Let's head back to the Brandon Stadium in Coventry and see how it all panned out.
So moving on to the grand final. Rye House riding in red, Kent in blue, Birmingham in white, and Coventry in yellow and black. The teams have declared their lineups. Few changes to the 1 to 4s in terms of race order, but that has now been all resolved, and Sam Woods rides in red off the inside here for Rye House, with Aaron Baseby off gate 2 in blue. It's Zach Weichnecht in white off gate 3, and Dan Greenwood in yellow and black off the outside. This is where the team managers, of course, look at the format, decide where they think they can best place their riders for the 8 heats, who they think they can get points off, where they think they can gain ground. So who will get off to a flying start here in the final? Sam Woods off the inside, Baseby gate 2, Weichnecht gate 3, and Dan Greenwood off the outside. Green light comes on and away they go, and it's a good start by Zach Weichnecht for Birmingham off gate 3. Dan Greenwood trying to go around the outside, with Birmingham here in front. Greenwood going around the outside to lead for Coventry. So Coventry in front now of Birmingham, with Rye House at the back and Kent in third place, Baseby in third for the Kings. And those two teams at the back here have clearly deployed their stronger riders for later in the meeting. So let's see how it works out, because Coventry have got Dan Greenwood out in front, leading a race that I think they'd expect him to win, with Weichnecht in second place, with Baseby in third, and the back is Sam Woods. Greenwood unbeaten so far today. He's been in excellent form, he's showing it once again, and Coventry looks set to take the early advantage here, but Birmingham will be happy enough with Weichnecht holding second, because they've got their top men, Ellis and Perry, to come later in this final. In front, Dan Greenwood for Coventry, second place Zach Weichnecht, third for Aaron Baseby for Kent, and Rye House look like starting with nothing with Sam Woods. So Greenwood off turn 4 safely, and Greenwood wins heat 1 for the Coventry Storm. Zach Weichnecht in second place, and Aaron Baseby in third. Good start there by Weichnecht, but Greenwood went round him off bend 2, and he wins it and gets Coventry off to a winning start. They've got 3, Birmingham with 2, and Kent on 1. Heat 2, and Luke Chessel will ride in red, Ben Morley in blue, Adam Ellis in white, and Luke Crang goes in yellow and black. Coventry into the early advantage here, but only a point ahead of Birmingham after Zach Weissnecht managed to pick up 2 points in Heat 1, and now the Brummies send out their top man, Adam Ellis. They've got Tom Perry to come in Heat 3, and it's Kent and Ryhouse looking to respond. Kent with some strong names to come, Ryhouse also, and very interesting to call the way this final could well go on who makes a mistake or who doesn't make a mistake more permanently. We saw lots of mistakes in the group stages, but I suspect the track is a bit more stable than then, and obviously we have got the better riders involved here at this point in time. So let's see what happens now in heat number 2. Ellis inside, Crang gate 2, Chessel gate 3, Morley outside. Here we go, green light on them for 2 and away, and a good start there by Chessel. Has been gating well here this afternoon. He's got the advantage. Right round the outside go, but Morley, and Ellis goes down, and that's very bad news for Birmingham as it gets really tight in bends 3 and 4 between Luke Chessel, who goes down. We've now got almost everyone down, and Ellis is remounted. The red lights come on, and that is a huge break for Birmingham. We've got both Luke Chessel and Ben Morley down on turn 4, and one of them will have to go, if not both, and it's the rider in red, Luke Chessel, who has been disqualified. Luke Chessel is disqualified by referee Tony Steele, and as I say, that for Birmingham is an enormous break, because Adam Ellis had come to grief on turn 1 and he was at the back. When the race was on between Luke Chessel and Ben Morley, it always had the look of it might well end in disaster, and it did. They both came down, and the referee has deemed that Luke Chessel was the cause of it, and he has excluded the Ryhouse Raiders man. Ben Morley will get back in the rerun, and also crucially for Birmingham, Adam Ellis will also be having remounted. And of course we saw earlier in the meeting the referee disqualify a rider for allegedly not being under power when he quite clearly was. Well, this time he has got it right, and that Adam Ellis can take his place in the restart. So here we go for the rerun of Heat 2, and it's Adam Ellis back in the race in white off the inside, Luke Crang in yellow and black off gate 2, and Ben Morley off the outside in blue. A bit of extra time was allowed for Ben Morley to get his machinery sorted out after that spat with Luke Chessel, and now Ryhouse, who were of course reeling off race wins like there was no tomorrow early in their semi-final, well, they're now under big pressure because they've not scored from the 2 races so far, and that could leave them with too much for a mountain to climb. We've seen it done before, 0 from 2, but in this meeting, but it's going to be a big uphill battle for them. Here we go then, heat number 2, Ellis and Crang and Morley in away, and Crang lifts, Ellis gets the men in front, Morley comes charging across from the outside, and then Morley gets the advantage here over Adam Ellis with Luke Crang in 3rd place. So that's a great ride there by the Kent man, and he leads. We've seen him go well around the circuit before this season with a maximum, and he leads now over Adam Ellis with Luke Crang in 3rd spot, and this will put Kent Kings nicely into contention if he can hold Adam Ellis at bay as they go up into the 3rd and 4th for the second time. Of course, they were teammates last year at Lakeside in the Elite League with Adam Ellis and Ben Morley. Ellis stayed with the Hammers this year. Morley didn't get a draft pick. Has been picking up some points of red card in the Premier League, and of course scoring heavily for Kent in the National. Ellis trying hard to get to Morley, who gets it wrong on turn 4, and Ellis might look for a move down the inside here with 1 lap to go. Morley in front of Ellis, Crang in 3rd place will offer no serious threat, but Ellis now chasing hard after the Kent man as he got the back straight for the final time. Ellis puts it high into turns 3 and 4. Morley rides it mid-track now, swings out wide to cover him, and it will be a win for Ben Morley over Adam Ellis with Luke Crang in 3rd place. That leaves it a very interesting situation indeed, because Kent, Birmingham and Coventry will all have 4 points after 2 races. A good win for Ben Morley over Adam Ellis with Luke Crang in 3rd place. Ryhouse yet to score, but the other 3 teams all on 4. So all square between Kent, Birmingham and Coventry as we come in for Heat 3, and that means that Ryhouse urgently need points here in Heat 3. A couple of years ago, Cradley didn't score in their first 2 rides of the final at Stoke, and they still came back to win it. But you do need a few things to go your way to make a bad start like that with 2 no scores. So the Right House Raiders can't afford to get anything else wrong here. Heat 3, it is James Shanes in blue for Kent. It is Luke Priest in red for Right House, Rob Shuttleworth in yellow and black for Coventry, and Tom Perry in white for Birmingham. Perry, of course, a winner of this meeting last October with Cradley. Didn't actually score in the final, Tom Perry. Everybody else scored massively for the Heathens, but Tom Perry, in fact, didn't. So he'll be looking to make his mark here. Off the outside gate. And as we say, with an 8-heat format in the final, there's not too much room for error. Here we go with heat number 3. Shanes, Priest, Shuttleworth and Perry. Green light in the way after a short hold, and Perry will need to go around the outside here, and he's done so. Perry makes a move around the board, booked out by Shuttleworth. Perry sweeps around the field, and Tom Perry gets the advantage here for Birmingham, and with James Shanes going wide on turn 4, scraping the fence and somehow stopping on. Luke Priest holds 3rd place. In fact, Luke Priest makes that 2nd place over Rob Shuttleworth. This is perfect for Birmingham because they've got their man out in front, Tom Perry, and they've also got Right House, who haven't scored so far, in 2nd place, really getting in the way as far as the other 2 are concerned. So Birmingham set to take an advantage here, and can James Shanes here make any move on Shuttleworth? And Luke Priest makes a mistake, and Shuttleworth goes through, and Shanes might go through as well. Shuttleworth goes through in the 2nd place over Luke Priest, and now Priest falls, and James Shanes goes through into 3rd place, and he might yet go through 2nd as they start the last lap. And it's Perry well clear out front, and Shuttleworth now goes square, and Shanes goes right in, but in fact goes down heavily because Shuttleworth, in going wide, actually left him with nowhere to go, and James Shanes had absolutely nowhere to go but into the air fence and down. Well, the referee has to sort that one out again, but let's first keep our fingers crossed for James Shanes after a very heavy fall there on the 2nd. So it was all action stuff there in that race, and he was trying to get past Shuttleworth, who went square and is disqualified. Shuttleworth is disqualified by the referee, and James Shanes will be awarded 2nd place for that. But first of all, let's hope he's okay, because that was a really hefty crash indeed. Everyone coming out to see how he is, and Shuttleworth for Coventry is disqualified, so that's a huge blow to their hopes as Birmingham take 3 points from it and move a point clear of Kent, with James Shanes, after the most dramatic of rides, ends in the worst possible way. He was committed to the outside line as Shuttleworth was going square on the corner, and that was what caused the issue. After a very, very eventful race. It all got very tight when Luke Priest made the mistake first of all and then went down on the 4th bend, and that allowed Shanes through into 3rd place. Then he thought about the inside on Shuttleworth, but whether Shuttleworth was having a mechanical failure there, I think he may well have been actually, and but Shanes switched for the outside when probably, if he could have his time again, he'd wish he'd gone for the inside, but you just don't know at the time. He went for the outside, but just found there was no room, nowhere to get around the outside, took a very heavy fall into the fence, and the referee disqualifying Rob Shuttleworth, and will be awarding the win to Tom Perry, 2nd place to James Shanes, 3rd place to Luke Priest, and that means that Birmingham move on to 7 points, Kent on to 6, Coventry stay on 4, and Right House get their 1st point of the final. Well, the good news was that James Shanes walked away from that crash after treatment, and that was really heavy stuff. And also the fence repairs were completed very quickly indeed on turn 2, despite the fact that there was boards dislodged and air fencing needing to be reinflated, but that has happened, and we have the riders in line for Heat 4. Birmingham 7, Kent 6, Coventry 4, Right House 1. Now or never for Right House. They've got to find those string of wins they had earlier on if they're going to get back into it. They've got Carl Hughes, who rode well early in the meeting, Danny Ayres for Kent, Sam Chapman for Birmingham, and Darrell Richards for Coventry. So every time you think a team have taken some kind of advantage, you can then look at the next race and see maybe, are they going to hold that advantage? We'll see. But Richards has gone well so far today. Yellow off the inside. Chapman, gate 2 in white. Ayres blue, gate 3. And Hughes in red off the outside. Here we go with heat number 4 then. Green light comes on and away they go, and Chapman makes a good start from gate 2. Chapman now has to hold off Danny Ayres, trying to go round the outside. He's done so. Hughes also takes the wide line. It's really tight there into the third bend. They're really going for it, and Danny Ayres gets the advantage for Kent over Sam Chapman, who goes down, and that is bad news for Birmingham. And now Ayres almost loops it off the fourth bend. Chapman has gone off the track, and Hughes is now going back around the outside trying to get to Danny Ayres, but Kent here with the advantage, a big advantage here, with Chapman falling, and Ayres falls as well. Would you believe it? Would you believe it? Red lights come on again as Danny Ayres goes down on turn 4, and that for a moment, well, first of all, again, let's hope he's okay, but secondly, Kent were about to take control over Birmingham, and we've got 2 riders disqualified, which is Kent and Birmingham, which are the 2 clubs who were in front, and we'll get a rerun between Rye House and Coventry, who'll be looking to make ground. I assume it'll be a rerun. And Ayres is on his feet and okay and walking back in. So what more drama can we have here this afternoon? Danny Ayres with a race win there for him to put Kent in control of the final, with Birmingham having crashed out. And although Birmingham won't score any points in the rerun, they're still very much in play. They'll be in front at the halfway stage. It's just a question of whether Coventry with Richings pick up 3 to level. In fact, Coventry, if Coventry win the rerun, then they'll go in front of Birmingham on the countback on 7 points. But we have blue and white disqualified after a dramatic heat 4. So we're left with a match race in the rerun of Heat 4. It's Kyle Hughes going in red and Darrell Richards in yellow and black. Hughes looking to add to Rye House's total of just 1 point so far, and Coventry with 4. So Richards can move Coventry Storm back into contention here. Certainly a meeting of thrills and spills, and there'll be some mechanical damage and some bruises after this one, that's for sure, because there have been numerous incidents. Here we go with Heat 4, green light and away, and Richards to get a decent start from the inside, really trapping nicely Darrell Richards today, and Kyle Hughes, who we have seen make ground from the back today, will have to try and pass him as Richards leads into the third bend. Hughes going for the wide line around the outside, maybe looking for a cut back, but Richards holds it nice and tight off turn 4, and he leads on to his second lap. But Kyle Hughes is not one of the quickest riders of the afternoon when chasing. He's been certainly trying hard to make his way through, and he's trying again on the outside here of turns 3 and 4, but Richards holding a great line off that 4th turn, and still race leads on to his third lap. Richards in front then of Hughes, and it looks good here for Coventry in Heat 4 to move on to 7 points, and effectively the meeting lead as Kyle Hughes again trying hard. I don't really think the second place will be enough here for Rye House. They'll be left on 3, although there's nobody breaking away in this final, so they'll still be in with a chance. Richards checks over his left shoulder. Hughes is still there, might try the big one round the outside here on turns 3 and 4. Richards again tries to hold that line and should do so, and Darrell Richards wins Heat 4 for Coventry on one wheel. Richards wins it. Second place, Kyle Hughes. 3 points for Coventry Storm, 2 to Rye House, and that puts Coventry on to 7, the same total as Birmingham, with Kent on 6 and Rye House on 3 at the halfway stage of the grand final. So Birmingham and Coventry both on 7 points, Kent on 6, Rye House on 3. Heat 5, Rye House have Sam Woods going in red. Kent have Danny Ayres in blue. He'll be seething after the crash he had in the previous race that has quite simply taken 3 points away from his team's total and helped Coventry in particular as well. So he's in blue. Tom Perry goes in white for the Brummies, and Luke Krang goes in yellow and black for the Storm. He's off the outside gate. 4 heats to go, and I've talked before earlier today about the fact you have to avoid mistakes, but there have been so many coming in from so many teams. What will happen next? Heat number 5 on the way. Green light, short hold, away they go. And it's a good start by Luke Cragg this time for Coventry, who's not had race wins today. He's got the advantage over Danny Ayres with Tom Perry in third place now. This could be absolutely crucial as Perry goes charging into bends 3 and 4, goes wide, pips the fence, stops on. Ayres has gone through past Cragg to lead for Kent. It's Ayres from Cragg, it's Perry in third place, and these three giving it everything here as Tom Perry makes a mistake on turn 2 and goes further behind Luke Cragg. It's better for Birmingham that they've got the Kent in front. It's going to leave it so close with 3 heats to go. Danny Ayres in front of Luke Cragg, Tom Perry in third place, Sam Woods at the back. Whitehouse out of contention really, but it's anyone's guess between these 3 teams as Danny Ayres race leads from Luke Cragg with Tom Perry in third. They come through to start the half lap, and Tom Perry now looking for the outside run on Luke Cragg, and still a race on here big time. Tom Perry wants the 2 points, but will he throw it away? Will he throw one away, going for 2, and Cragg got close to Ayres there on the last bend. Perry going everything on the outside here on the last bend. Danny Ayres will win it, and Luke Cragg in second place, Tom Perry in third. And what a dramatic heat number 5 that was, as the Kent fans certainly wake up there. They know that they've got a big chance now because they're on to 9 points, and Coventry are on to 9 points, and the Brumbies are on 8, so it's very much all to race for now. Danny Ayres for the Kent Kings. Well, he threw away a win in his previous ride, but he has hit back to win Heat 5, and now they need Batesby to pick up something in Heat 6. Then they've got Morley and Shanes if fit to come, so it's still going to be tough for them, but Kent take the advantage, and Luke Cragg came down after the race finished, the Coventry man, and that's a tough end for him to the meeting, but he did get the second place, and they are just 1 point behind. Well, when you look at the races coming up, we've got 3 heats to go. Coventry have concerns over Rob Shuttleworth, who's hit trouble in all of his rides so far today. Birmingham will have a concern over Sam Chapman, who's struggling for full fitness after his lengthy injury absence. And Kent obviously wondering about James Shanes after his crash. They've all got a question mark against them in the closing stages. And Coventry have Rob Shuttleworth here going in yellow and black off the inside. Kyle Hughes for Whitehouse in red off gate 2. Adam Ellis for Birmingham in white off 3. And Aaron Batesby in blue off the outside for Kent. Kent and Coventry on 9 points. Birmingham on 8. And therefore, really, the Brummies need Adam Ellis to win this one, you would think. Should be capable of doing so. Kyle Hughes has been very quick so far today as well. But Birmingham will be looking for a win for Ellis and also a second place for Hughes to take points away from Kent and Coventry. So a massive heat number 6 on the way. Here we go. 3 heats to go. 1 point covers the top 3 clubs. Away they go, and Shuttleworth makes the gate over Ellis. Into the bend they go. Ellis takes it round the outside. Shuttleworth in second place. Hughes in third. Batesby at the back. Ellis with the advantage. Shuttleworth holds second, but Hughes will go around the outside. And the Birmingham fans here should be cheering on Carl Hughes to try and pass Rob Shuttleworth. Batesby at the back, and Shuttleworth holds that second place for now. Hughes, who's looked quick so far today, in third place. Can he make a passing move? Batesby at the back, and Kent, who are on 9 points going in, can well no score here in this heat number 6, but can Shuttleworth hang on for second? If Shuttleworth hangs on for second, then Coventry are right in play here to win this meeting. If Shuttleworth can hold on ahead of Carl Hughes for that second place. Ellis in front for Birmingham, Shuttleworth second. Round the outside on turns 3 and 4 comes Carl Hughes, now tries to turn back with 1 lap to go. It's a big win here for Ellis coming up, and it's potentially a bigger second for Shuttleworth. Hughes going round the outside, blocked out as he gets round the outside of Shuttleworth into the third bend, and now Shuttleworth tries to hit back on turns 3 and 4 and takes his man wide, and down goes, doesn't go down, but what will the referee make of that one? As Shuttleworth came back through on the inside. In fact, Kent with Batesby came through into third place. Hughes not happy, and we'll see what the referee makes of that particular incident. It could be absolutely key to the way the meeting finishes. It's certainly a win for Adam Ellis for the Brummies. There are no disqualification lights on just yet, so that may well be a second place for Rob Shuttleworth, which would be very useful indeed for Coventry. And the third for Kent would be an escape if that's the case with Aaron Baseby. So we await the official result to be confirmed. Confirmation of the result of Heat 6 and a win for Adam Ellis, second for Rob Shuttleworth, third for Aaron Baseby. Kyle Hughes no scoring, so the top three are still separated by only 1 point, but in a slightly different order. It's now Birmingham and Coventry on 11 points apiece, and it's Kent on 10 with Rye House on 3. Well, you have to say that incident on the last lap of the last bend of Heat 6 could be pivotal, and it could actually adversely affect Birmingham, because the ideal for them was Kyle Hughes finishing second, and that did not happen because of Shuttleworth's move back on the inside, which so nearly ended in disaster, but actually got him through for second place, and it got Baseby through for third for Kent. So can Birmingham, who are in front, in the joint lead now with Coventry, but with Weitschnecht to come and then Chapman to come, they've used their best two riders already. If it's level after Heat 8, then as far as I'm aware, we have a run-off for the winning position. And Kent are sat with Morley, and we await news on Shanes. Heat number 7. Weitschnecht off the inside, Morley off gate 2, Richings gate 3, and Priest off the outside. Heat number 7 then on the way, green light, and away they go. Lovely start by Ben Morley off the 2, and Richings this time gets squeezed out by Luke Priest around the outside. Morley has the advantage, Weitschnecht trying to turn back. Here comes Luke Priest with a move, and Richings going around the outside of Weitschnecht trying to get the second place, but he goes wide on turn 3 and 4, and that might send Priest through into third place. It does, with Coventry on the back here. So it's Ben Morley in front of Zach Weitschnecht, and now Priest out of shape on turn 2. He goes too wide, and back through goes Darrell Richards. So this meeting swings this way and that, and the Kent Kings in front here with Ben Morley in Heat 7. It's Morley over Weitschnecht, it's Richards in third place, and it's Priest at the back, and we're going to go into a big decider, although Richards in trouble with battling hard with Luke Priest, and Luke Priest going back at him into the third bend for the third time. Luke Priest back through into third place. Points lost for Coventry unless Richards can hit back. It's Kent in front with Morley, and Kent and Birmingham will go level with 1 heat to go. Priest goes down, and that keeps Coventry in play with an extra point for Darrell Richards to move them on to 12. 3 teams are going to be battling for it with 1 heat to go as Ben Morley wins Heat 7. Second, Zach Weitschnecht. Third place goes to Darrell Richards, and we've got 3 teams battling for the Fours title in the last race of this intensely dramatic meeting. Kent with James Shanes. Is he fit to ride? Will he be coming out for Heat number 8? They've got 13 points. Birmingham have also got 13 points with Sam Chapman has been struggling, and Coventry have got 12 with the superb Dan Greenwood riding for them in the last race. It really could not be closer.
Okay. Well, let's give a result then. Heat number 7. And it's really important. So, unfortunately, we go right in blue.
Well, disaster for Kent in Heat 8 because James Shanes has been ruled out. He cannot ride in Heat 8, and that has to put Coventry in the box seat here. Crucial thing now, when you look at it's Chessel in red for Rye House, it's Greenwood in yellow and black for Coventry, and it's Chapman in white for Birmingham. Kent unable to field a rider here. 13 points is what they will finish with. Birmingham have 13 points. Coventry have 12 points. So, but as far as Sam Chapman is concerned, if he can't beat Dan Greenwood, and that will be a tough ask given Greenwood's form, what he has to do is beat Luke Chessel and ensure the scores are level with as they go into the final. What would be a run-off? We're in the last race, so if they're level after Heat 8, no reserve is the confirmation, so the pits gate can be closed. Kent was absolute gutting for them because they've worked their way in. They will rue the fall for Danny Ayres in Heat 4. Otherwise, they would still have a lead to defend here, even if they had a rider in it. So bad luck conspires against them. And if Dan Greenwood wins this Heat 8 for Coventry and Luke Chessel comes second, then Coventry will win the Fours So what can Sam Chapman do here for Birmingham? It's Chessel on the inside, Greenwood gate 2 and Chapman gate 4, and Greenwood does make the start, but Chapman makes it as well and goes round the outside. Now can he pass Greenwood? I'm not sure he can, but it would leave it level. It's Greenwood from Chapman with Chessel in third place, and Chapman goes wide and Chessel goes down. So you can forget Ryehouse, and now Greenwood out in front of Chapman, and we're going to see quite potentially a run-off here to the fours as long as Sam Chapman gets home in second place behind Dan Greenwood. It's Greenwood from Chapman, Chessel who fell is gone, and now Chapman, you can see he's not remotely comfortable, but he's going to get round 2 laps here behind Dan Greenwood, and if he does that, he goes really wide on turn 2 as well. Sam Chapman just needs to keep it out of the fence really, because they'll be level and it will be a run-off for the fours. 1 lap to go, Greenwood way out in front. Chessel is no threat to Chapman. The only threat to Chapman is whether he can get round this final lap in second place. Greenwood well clear, Chapman in second. He's got it all there for him, and then they can send up presumably Adam Ellis up against Dan Greenwood in a run-off for the fours. Dan Greenwood wins heat 8 for Coventry. The second place, crucially, will go to Sam Chapman, and they've both finished on 15 points, and we're going to be going into a run-off to decide the National League Fours. Coventry and Birmingham. Third place for Luke Chessel, remounting. Ryehouse finished on 4 points from the final. Didn't go right for them at all, really. But Greenwood has won it for Coventry to finish on 15. 15 points also for the Brummies for their second place with Chapman, and Kent will be third on 13 points. So it is a run-off for the National League Fours. Adam Ellis for Birmingham, Dan Greenwood for Coventry, level on 15 points after the final. Well contested, really between 3 clubs with Kent involved, and Kent unlucky after the absence of James Shanes for the last race. Let's hope he's okay. So many incidents and accidents all afternoon. Birmingham fans who saw their club destroyed by people who really should have known a lot better but didn't make any effort to understand Speedway, didn't pay any bills last year, and eventually bankrupted the club mid-season about this time last year. The club reborn under Tony Mole and doing well in the National League. They're looking for silverware. They won the Premier League pairs in 2010 at Peterborough, and Coventry Storm looking for their first silverware since becoming a National League club in 2013. Dan Greenwood off the gate number 2 in yellow and black, Adam Ellis in white off gate 3. This is the run-off for the National League Fours. Away they go, and it's Greenwood gets the bend in front of Ellis, who'll go for the outside move off turn 2, but Greenwood's got the advantage. Ellis sweeps around the outside, Ellis gets the advantage. Ellis leads for Birmingham over Greenwood, who's unbeaten so far today, but now has to come from the back. It's Ellis from Greenwood with 3 laps to go. Ellis dropped the point to Morley earlier in the meeting, but this time he's got it over Greenwood, it would appear. Just got round the outside off turn 2 after Greenwood made the start. Ellis just made that move round the outside, and he has it, and they can look back on some dramatic moments earlier in the final. Ellis of course fell in a previous race, but the race got rerun, he got back into it, and Birmingham just over a lap away from clinching the National League Fours. Ellis has it over Dan Greenwood, and Coventry look set to be runners up once again, just as last season when Craigsley won it. They've got all the way to a run-off, but it looks like Ellis will bring Birmingham through to win the National League Fours. The Birmingham fans enjoying the moment because they've got just half a lap to go. Adam Ellis round turns 3 and 4 to give Birmingham the National League Fours title. It's the Brummies who win it. It's Ellis over Greenwood, and Birmingham edge out Coventry in the final of the Fours in a run-off. Adam Ellis, one of the out-and-out top men in the National League, and he does it in the big run-off, the big race where it matters most. Greenwood made a good start, Ellis round the outside off turn 2, and he then went off and won the race convincingly, and Ellis gives Birmingham their first silverware at the National League club, the reborn Brummies. Ellis wins it, Dan Greenwood second for Coventry Storm, and Ken King's in third place, but all this moment belongs to the Brummies, who I mentioned this time last year, absolute heartache for them with the club closing down. Major concerns over whether there would be a future at Birmingham. Tony Mole and Graham Drury have brought it back to life this season. The crowds have been good in the National League. They've got a good team. They're challenging for major honours, and they've got silverware on the board here at Brandon this afternoon. Thanks to Adam Ellis, Tom Perry, Zach Weissnecht and Sam Chapman. the victorious Birmingham team celebrate with Adam Ellis. Up in the air goes the man who's won the runoff, and Birmingham are National League Fours champions 2015. Tony Molan, chairman, is actually doing the presentations for his own riders as things have turned out. But Zach Weichenek, what a star of the future he is, and also back in business. Sam Chapman, after a long injury absence early in the campaign, he gets his trophy as well from Tony Mole, and the victorious Brummies quartet now about to get the main trophy. Tom Perry is the club captain, making the switch from Cradley over the winter, and the Birmingham fans in the grandstand loving this particular moment as the Birmingham Brummies claim the National League Fours for 2015. Adam Ellis, congratulations, the crucial run-off against Dan Greenwood. He was flying and he just made it around the outside.
Yeah, you know, it's, we've all been riding pretty good all night, and for it to come down to a run-off, we would have been gutted if we'd have lost. So yeah, big win for us, you know, first trophy of the year, so we're over the moon.
Such a long meeting, I bet, to ride in, because so many delays and crashes, you have to keep yourself focused.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's massive gaps between, and you know, we're just having a laugh throughout the day, and I think that kept us going. And you know, to finish up on a high like this feels good.
Looks like it's a fantastic spirit at Birmingham. They had such tough times last year with the club folding, but people like yourself and Tom Perry and Zach are really bringing the fun back to Birmingham.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we get big crowds every week, which is awesome. You know, especially for the National League, when you see big crowds, it always makes you want to come back. And you know, everyone's been riding pretty good. We've had a few boys struggle, but they seem to be just finding their feet. And you know, Tony Mole and Graham Drury, they're doing a good job of running it. So it's yeah, it's a good club to be a part.
Great job from everyone. Well done today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Birmingham.
So they are victorious, the Brummies. Adam Ellis, the hero in the final decider. The run-off up against Dan Greenwood. Sam Chapman, Tom Perry and Zach Weichenek to get there. Photos taken, trophies are all there, and as I said before, wind the clock back 12 months to what's happening at Birmingham, and it is quite some comeback as far as this club, with Tony Mole and Graham Drury at the helm now. Speedway people who know what they're doing, and they've put together a very strong team, and a team that was bang on for the falls as well, and that is the result today.
Okay, this way please. Again. Okay, go with your champagne.
So final celebrations for the Brummies, who have had a fantastic day, and it was a nerve-wracking finale. The celebrations are now on. Tom Perry, Adam Ellis, Zach Weichenek and Sam Chapman enjoying the moment, and it really has been a great afternoon as we all try and avoid the champagne, but they have fully deserved it on the day, and to win a run-off is always absolutely key, and the pressure was on at the time with Adam Ellis, and he rose to that pressure by getting the better of Dan Greenwood off the second turn, and many congratulations to them on their victory. So the Ken Kings, unlucky with James Shane's third place, fall, and then unable to ride in Heat 8, they finish in third place. The Coventry Storm, close but not quite close enough in second place after Dan Greenwood missed out in the run-off, and the Birmingham Brummies, they are the Fours champions for 2015. Graham and Denise Drury joining the team. Steve Williams, the club physio as well. Tony Mole as well. Alex Wilson, who's of course a member of the team as well. So it is a big team at Birmingham, and they have done tremendously well in the first half of 2015, and there's plenty more to come. Birmingham Brummies, 2015 National League Fours champions.